All right, so it's the beginning of a new quarter here in April of 2025. So that means I've got a bunch of new updates going on with my everyday credit card setup to get max value back from all my spending. So let's go ahead and jump right into what's in my wallet for the second quarter of 2025, starting with one of my favorite no annual fee credit cards, which is the Chase Freedom Flex. Now, the Freedom Flex is a rotating multiplier card that earns 5x points per dollar in categories that change up every 3 months. And for the period from April through June of 2025, those categories are going to include Amazon and select streaming services. For me personally, that Amazon category is really going to be the one place that I'll definitely be using this card the most because my wife Jackie and I just order a ton of stuff off Amazon, like pet supplies, household items, and even a bunch of food items as well, like protein powder and sunflower butter that I eat because I'm allergic to peanuts and peanut butter. Now, with the Freedom Flex, you're going to be limited to earning 5x back on only the first $1,500 of combined spending across those rotating categories each quarter. But because Jackie also has this credit card, we basically have an additional $1,500 of 5x spending on her card every quarter as well. I also have two OG Chase Freedom cards that work pretty much the same exact way as the Freedom Flex because they also earn 5x back in rotating categories with the same $1,500 5x earning limit every 3 months. So in theory, we actually have up to $6,000 in 5x earning potential across these 4 cards, which is definitely more than we need, but still good to have. Now, even though select streaming services are also one of the rotating 5x categories here in Q2 of 2025, I'm really not going to get a ton of value from it, honestly, and that's just because of the way that we have certain subscriptions set up. Right now, our largest streaming expense is around $87 per month with Hulu plus live TV. But we pay that with our Amex Platinum, where we're able to get $20 back thanks to the digital entertainment credit on the Platinum card. And then after that, we just have a few cheap subscriptions for Netflix, Spotify, and YouTube Premium. So I switched payments for those platforms over to my Chase Freedom Flex, but that's only going to add up to like $50 or $60 in spending per month. So yeah, for me, the Amazon 5X category is going to be the real winner this quarter here on this card. However, there is going to be another rotating category card here in my wallet that we're going to be using a lot over the next 3 months that most people might not expect from me. And that is going to be the Discover It cashback card. Now, the Discover It only earns 5% cashback in rotating quarterly categories versus the more valuable 5x points per dollar that the Freedom Flex earns. But right now, for the second quarter of 2025, Discover has grocery stores as one of its 5% categories, and groceries are going to be one of the highest areas of spend in our budget, which is part of the reason why I'm going to be using this card a lot right now. The other part of the reason why this card's in my wallet is because I'm still in my first year with having the Discover It, and that means I'm still going to be eligible for their cashback matching program where Discover basically will match any cashback that I earn during this first year, dollar for dollar. Now, the Discover It also has a $1,500 5% earning limit each quarter, which means that I'm basically going to be eligible to earn up to $75 in cashback for Q2 if I max it out. But with the cashback match of another $75 on top of that from Discover, which I'll get at the end of the year, that's going to be up to $150 in total that I can get back here, which effectively makes this a 10% return on spend in total. I know that based on our grocery budget, we're going to easily spend $1,500 on groceries over the next 3 months, so that's going to be a really solid amount of cash back that we'll earn. And then after I max that out on my Discover It, I'll just go ahead and swap in my normal grocery store card, which is going to be my Amex Gold that I want to talk about next year as another card that I'll have in my wallet. Now, the Amex Gold earns 4x points on groceries from US supermarkets compared to the effective 10% cashback return that I'm able to get right now on my Discover It card with groceries for this quarter. And even though I can sometimes redeem the points that I earn from my Amex Gold for pretty high cent per point rates, my personal rule is that I like to value my flexible bank points that I earn from a card like this at 2 cents per point. I do that because that's generally going to be the average rate when I'll decide that a certain redemption is a good use of my points. And so by setting the value of my credit card points at 2 cents per point, that makes the 4x grocery category here on the gold card worth effectively 8% back. That means in terms of my order of operations with groceries for this quarter, 10% back in value on the Discover It card is going to beat 8% back in value on the Amex Gold. And so that's why I'm going to be prioritizing these cards in that way for the second quarter. Obviously, there's going to be plenty of times where I'm getting higher than 2 cents per point out of my Amex points. But in my opinion, setting a good conservative redemption rate is just going to be more realistic because getting around 2 cents per point is much more consistently achievable compared to maybe 4 cents per point. But like I always say, there's really no perfect way to go about valuing credit card points because there's also so much personal preference that comes into play as well. Now, in my wallet setup, the American Express Gold Card is also going to earn 4x points per dollar on all my restaurant spending. So this is typically going to be my dedicated dining card that I'll use whenever I go out to a restaurant or anything like that. And then there's also a few other different credits on this card that I try to use throughout the year when it makes sense. I already used the $50 Resi credit for the first 6 months out of this year that works on restaurants that are part of the Resi program. And then I'll also try to use the Uber credit at least maybe once per month on average whenever I'm out traveling. But yeah, the Amex Gold Card has always been the main food spending card in my wallet setup. and it's still valuable enough for me to keep it around, so you can learn more about it with the full review video I did, which I'll go ahead and link to down below. Now, since we're talking about optimizing how I spend my money here in this video, I figured it's also important to talk about how I optimize saving my money, and to me, that means using the right high-yield savings account to store any extra cash that I have sitting around. Not only does a high-yield account give me quick access to my money while also being FDIC insured, but it also allows me to earn hundreds of dollars in interest every single month versus almost no interest that traditional savings accounts offer. I've got a whole list of high-yield accounts that you can go ahead and check out at the link down below in the description if you're interested in learning more about this. And as always, those links are the best way to help support the free content here on this channel, so thank you to anyone who uses those links. Now, next here in my wallet, I've got my Bilt MasterCard that I'm a huge fan of if you've ever watched my videos before. So this is going to be a no annual fee card that allows me to earn 1x Bilt point per dollar on my rent payments without paying any transaction fees. Right now, the rent payment that Jackie and I have might seem pretty high or even kind of low depending on where you live, but we have a 3-bedroom place which includes this whole separate YouTube studio space, and for that we pay around $3,500 per month that we're able to actually get rewards back for paying. That means we earn 3,500 super valuable Bilt points per month on rent, or around 42,000 points per year at the moment, and those points are great because we love having transfer partners like Hyatt and Alaska Airlines with Bilt, along with a few other good ones as well. Now, we do plan to buy a house later on this year, so earning points on rent is something that's going to be coming to an end sometime soon for us, but Bilt has teased that they plan to offer some sort of a way to earn points on mortgage payments later on in 2025, so we'll see what that looks like and if we're able to take advantage of that. Also, one other requirement here to earn points with the Bilt MasterCard is that I do have to make sure I'm using this card at least 5 times each statement period, and so normally I just go ahead and set up subscription services to get charged on the first day of the month to my Bilt card to take care of this requirement. Paying for subscriptions on the first day of the month allows us to take advantage of Bilt's rent day promotion where we're able to earn double points on that spend. However, with a few of my streaming subscriptions now going over to my Chase Freedom Flex for this quarter, I'm just gonna go ahead and go back to how I originally used my Bilt MasterCard, which was just as a coffee card where I'll go ahead and swipe it anytime I go to a local coffee shop, which Jackie and I do at least once every weekend. The cool thing with that is that the Bilt MasterCard also earns 3x points per dollar on dining, which most of our coffee shops code as. So yeah, this is gonna basically be my rent and my coffee card for the rest of Q2 2025. Now, after that, another card that's sort of been a staple in my wallet setup over the past 3 years is the Citi Custom Cash, and this one is just the gas credit card that we use to earn 5x back on all our gas spending. The way that works is that the Custom Cash earns 5% back, or really 5x Citi thank you points per dollar on your top eligible spend category each billing cycle, and gas stations is one of those 10 eligible categories for this, so we just only use this card to pay for gas, and that makes this our highest area of spend by default. We then take the points that we've earned from this card and then combine them with the Citi Strata Premier that I have as well, so that way I can take those points and transfer them out to travel transfer partners. And what's really cool right now is that as I'm making this video, Citi just announced a 30% transfer bonus over to Virgin Atlantic that I'm going to try to take advantage of with all the points that I've saved up from my custom cash. Now, that bonus expires on May 17th, 2025 for anyone that's watching this video way into the future. And if you want to stay up to date on any transfer bonuses like this, so that way you never miss out, then make sure to go ahead and subscribe down below to our free newsletter where we just keep track of these transfer bonuses in every email that we send to you. We also go over a ton of redemption examples with points and miles inside of that newsletter, and then we cover a bunch of other personal finance and credit card news to know about as well. So again, the link to that is going to be down below in the description to this video underneath the subscribe button to this YouTube channel if you haven't clicked that already, because according to our data, almost 80% of you who watch our videos here are not actually subscribed yet. Now, next here for the catch-all credit card inside of my wallet, I'm going to be going back over to the Chase Freedom Unlimited card, which earns 1.5x Chase points per dollar on everything. And I kind of go back and forth between using this card versus the Capital One Venture X card that we have, which earns 2x back on everything as my catch-all option. But the main reason why I'm sticking with the Chase Freedom Unlimited here for this quarter in 2025 is pretty much because Jackie and I did end up using some more of our Chase points for a trip out to Napa Valley later this quarter. So now that we're running a little bit lower on Chase points again, we're going to go ahead and prioritize earning more of those here with the Freedom Unlimited card for other future Hyatt transfers. Now, on that Napa trip, we're going to be staying at the Alila Napa Valley Hyatt property because we really love that hotel when we stayed there a few years back. And for anyone that's curious, our 3-night stay would have normally cost us around $5,700, but we were able to transfer and redeem 130,000 points from Chase and Bilt points instead to get a redemption of around 4.38 cents per point, which is honestly really great value for a hotel stay. Now, Alila's are more of a luxury hotel brand with inflated cash prices, which also inflates the cent per point value here, but Still, that is going to be a really great redemption for us right now because we also have top tier Hyatt Globalist status. So that should help us to save at least some money on breakfast at this property, which is going to be nice because everything else here can get a bit pricey. However, to help sort of offset some of the other miscellaneous expenses that we might end up having at the Alila, I'm also going to have my Chase World of Hyatt credit card with me. And this is going to be a great option for us to have because we can earn up to 9x total Hyatt points per dollar on qualifying purchases at Hyatt, which includes restaurants that are operated by Hyatt. We're actually also visiting the Grand Hyatt Baha Mar property this quarter down in the Bahamas, so this card could be a really good option to have for that stay as well. But I am going to have to do a bit more research to see exactly what restaurants or dining spots might trigger that elevated Hyatt multiplier around that property if I use this card. So if anybody has any experience with that, then go ahead and comment down below. Now, because I've got a couple of trips coming up, I'm also going to go ahead and have my Chase Sapphire Reserve card with me inside my wallet for random travel expenses where I can earn 3x back. But I'm also going to have this card so that me and Jackie can get into the brand new Chase Sapphire Lounge here in my home airport of Philadelphia before we fly out for some of these trips. I got to visit this lounge once the other month, kind of right after it opened, and I really like the fact that I can bring Jackie as a guest for free versus the no free guest policy that Amex has with their lounges, kind of like the one they have in Philly as well. So for this quarter, I'm just going to go ahead and pretty much leave my Amex Platinum card behind and out of my wallet setup, besides the occasional use of maybe some credits on that card. I'm also going to go ahead and use the Sapphire Reserve for renting a car when we fly into San Francisco and then drive up to Napa this quarter. And what's great is that the CSR comes with primary car rental coverage, so I don't have to actually worry about buying any extra coverage like that from the car rental company itself. Now, as far as business expenses, that's where I'm just going to be using the Chase Inc. Unlimited card as my catch-all option over there to earn 1.5x Chase points per dollar on all my random business spend. And again, I could go with a different 2x catch-all business card like the Amex Blue Business Plus that I have as well. But right now, again, with the goal in mind of just earning more Chase points for Hyatt transfers in 2026, the Inc. Unlimited is just going to be the easier option to use. I also carry a Charles Schwab Platinum debit card with me inside my wallet, which sounds fancy, but it's really just a free debit card that I get with my no-fee Schwab investor checking account. And this card's in my wallet pretty much just because it gives me unlimited ATM rebates for cash withdrawals worldwide. That's been a great feature to have that I've used both here in the US as well as in other countries to just kind of get cash whenever I need it without worrying about ATM fees. But I only keep a few $100s inside that account at any one time because, like I said earlier, I just like to keep most of my cash in a high yield savings account. So if you want to learn more about which high yield savings accounts I think are the top ones out there on the market right now in 2025, then make sure to go ahead and check out this video over here on the screen next. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.